as I am. Summoned outward I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summoned outward I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summoned outward I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summoned outward I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me. Take me as I am. Summoned outward I shall be. Set your seal upon my heart and live in me.
Hello and welcome to this time of reflection for the week of May the 20th to the 26th. I want to acknowledge that I'm here in my office, which is located on the traditional and unceded territory of the Coast Salish people, the Squamish, the Musqueam, and the Tsleil-Waututh nations. And I am very grateful to the ancestors who have stewarded this land from time immemorial and who have tended it in such a way that I and many of us who call this church community our home are able to enjoy living here, to enjoy serving here, and to enjoy gathering on this land. So in this season of Easter, we are gathered here at the church around a theme called Life After Death, Living as an Easter People. And this week, our reflection is about death that heals. I want to begin by lighting the Christ candle to remind us of the promise of our Easter season. The promise that reminds us that hope is stronger than despair, that love is more powerful than hate, and that death, in the end, will always be overcome by life. Our reading for this week is from the 5th chapter of John's Gospel, and I'm reading verses 1 to 9. And so you might listen for this story. You might imagine this story in your mind's eye, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what the smells and the sights might be for someone who was watching this scene unfold in real time. After this, there was a festival of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now in Jerusalem, by the sheep gate, there is a pool called in Hebrew Bethesda, which has 5 porticos. In these lay many invalids, blind, lame, and paralyzed. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been there a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be made well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, and while I am making my way, someone else steps down ahead of me." Jesus said to him, "Stand up, take your mat, and walk." At once the man was made well, and he took up his mat and began to walk. Now that day was a Sabbath. Jesus' question to the man who is ill is an almost offensive question. Do you want to be made well? There's a hint in that question that maybe the man has been lying there, unable to get up and into the water for so long because that's actually where he wants to be. I think that what this story, for me anyway, speaks to is the way that we can actually become stuck in places where we are not well. If we stretch our imaginations and think of this story metaphorically, if we think about the places where we have blinders on, where we can't see ourselves in the fullness of who we are, or where we're immobilized, we're not able to move forward because we're stuck. If we wonder about those places in our own lives, it could possibly be true that there are parts of our being, parts of our lives, parts of ourselves that might be too hard for us to really face into, or parts of us that we think are, well, that it's just the way they are. I'm never going to be made well, or I'm never going to be able to change that behavior that I have been trying to change for years, or that maybe I don't even know the ways that I am stuck in. Commentators on this parable say that it's a story of grace. This is actually, even though it sounds like Jesus is being harsh, what's wrong with you? Don't you want to be healed? Why can't you get on with things? Why can't you stop making excuses? In actual fact, it's a parable of grace. He's actually having compassion for the man. He's speaking into the man's deep desire, which is maybe, hopefully, all of our deep desires, that we do want to be made well, that we do want to be healed, that we do want to die to those parts of ourselves that hold us back from taking life's hand when life's hand is held out to us. It's true, isn't it, that sometimes when life's hand is held out to us, that we do make excuses for not embracing it, because it can sometimes be scared to be called into a new life, a new way of being. It can sometimes call forth courage from us. But I think that Jesus really identifies the depths of the desire that is wired into us as human beings, a desire for wholeness, a desire for freedom, a desire to be well. And so he has grace and he has compassion for those who are ill in every sense of the word. Sometimes we can be made physically well, but sometimes we can be made emotionally and spiritually well, even when we are not physically able to be well. And I think that that's the most helpful way for us to look at this story, that it's about bringing us to the depth of wellness that we are capable of having, even when we're not physically well. So a question that we might want to hold this week is, what's the compassion that we need for ourselves? Where are our blind spots, so to speak, that are somehow keeping us from reaching out and embracing the life that is being held out to us? Can we have compassion for ourselves? Can we say yes to life so that we might rise up and take another step, maybe even run into the wholeness that all of us are meant for? May it be so for each one of us this week. May it be so. I'm going to change the light. So that now we might know that this light, that it was in one place, this resurrecting light, it's in all places. It's in us, it's in our world, it's in all of creation, this resurrecting life. May we embrace it. Amen.
Behold, behold, I make all things new, beginning with you. Behold, behold, I make all things new, beginning with you, and starting from today. Behold, behold, I make all things new, my promise is true, for I am Christ the